Whoa. Whoa. Sorry, guys. Trying slightly late. Whew. But we're all good. We're here. So much sun in my eyes. What is this nonsense? All right. Welcome to M Cubed. Of course, I'm Schmook. Had a little bit of a busy afternoon. Just got home from work, but we're good. We're good. We're here. Hold on, let me close this door. Had to rush. Actually. All right. If you are watching, say hi in the chat. And of course, we're here to talk. AMC's The Walking Dead, my favorite show of all time. Let me get a drink real quick. Ooh. Sorry. I just wanted to make it on time, so I had to rush. So I'm a little... All right. So, if you're joining in, say hey, say hey. So, The Walking Dead. It's my favorite show of all time. I'm rewatching it currently with my girlfriend. We're on season 10. And, we took a little break there. So, to go all the way back, it's not going to be the hardest thing in the world because I've seen this show countless times. So, when talking about seasons 1 and 2, we're going to be golden. And this is my favorite era of The Walking Dead, too. So, we're going to have some good stuff to talk about. What's up, David? Nice to have you here. All right. So, oh, Mark, you're nasty, bro. Crazy. Yeah, what's up, Carrie? Nice to have you. I didn't know. What, did you go to KU, Mark? That's cool. So we were pretty close to each other at one point, huh? But yeah, awesome. It's great to have you guys in here. Of course, the usual suspects, right? Carrie, Mark, David, the homies. Let's go. Awesome, Mark. Yeah, cool. I have no bad blood. All right. I didn't care that much. But anyway. So who here has watched The Walking Dead? Here, just don't look at me. All right. Don't look at it. It's okay, Mark. It's okay. But yeah, who here has seen The Walking Dead? That's my question, because this is, to me, one of the best shows of all time. I think it has some of the best acting in TV history, specifically from Andrew Lincoln. But you got some other great standouts, I think Melissa McBride, who plays Carol, is outstanding. I think Lauren Cohen, who plays Maggie Bree eventually, but Maggie Green in the beginning. But again, you get a lot of great performances within this show. And I think even Daryl, Norman Reedus, has some great stuff. All right, so Carrie, you haven't seen all of it? Well, hey, we're gonna talk about the stuff you have seen, I'm sure. What's up, Sci-Fi? Welcome. Yeah, if you guys are joining in, say hey. But yeah, we're talking about The Walking Dead today. I'm excited. So let's see. Where to start? So we're going to be talking... Okay, so I guess a little bit of a... Before we get into it, I guess we can talk about some news that has dropped pretty recently, I guess. I believe... Ooh, nice, David. So you're close. You're only a few episodes away from the series finale. Yeah, that's my plan, is to, watch all the show with my girlfriend. I plan on watching Dead City and Daryl Dixon. I'm hoping to get all done with that before The Ones Who Live, before that show drops, which I'm very excited for. But we'll see, because, let's see, we're almost done with, we're halfway done with season 10. And then we'll have all season 11 to watch, and then Dead City and Daryl Dixon. So I think it's doable. We have about a month until The Ones Who Live drops. So it's doable, but we'll see. But I'm excited. So I've never seen Dead City or Daryl Dixon. I would like to possibly get reviews out for that before, of course, the Rick Grimes show comes out, but we'll see. All right. So, I know a lot of people usually stopped with this show probably around when Negan comes in. I get it. That's where my girlfriend started to not like the show. But then I'm like, listen, we just got to get to season 9 and you're going to enjoy it again. And I agree. I think season 9, 10, and 11 are all really good seasons of The Walking Dead. So we'll get to that point eventually. So, Walking Dead. It came out in 2010, I believe. Yeah. See, 2010 is when the first episode came out in October. It came out on Halloween, which is sick. I know they had the premiere in black and white. So days gone by, the pilot episode was in black and white when it premiered on Halloween. I think that's pretty cool. And I didn't watch it live until season 3, but it was on Netflix. So I remember watching seasons 1 and 2 at one point, and I'm like with my friends, I'm like, holy shit, this show is excellent. And of course, I was in like 8th grade when I started watching it. So it was out for, because I know season 3 started to drop when I was in 8th grade. So like I watched it probably like a year before that, like the first 2 seasons. So I guess 7th grade was when I started watching the Walking Dead, right? And I fell in love. Fell in love with the characters, just the idea of, the Walking Dead, like zombies, the apocalypse, blah blah blah. And I eat that shit up. Especially at that point in my life, I played a lot of Call of Duty Zombies, so that's like my childhood right there. No, fair enough. So Mark, I went to Mizzou. I did. Yes, I was in Columbia for like 4 years, gained my degree, and it was awesome. I had a good time. I liked Columbia. I don't know when you were down there or whatever, but I enjoyed it. There was obviously some bad parts, but I don't know. I think that was fun. I think downtown Como was a lot of fun to go to, and I had a good time. Overall, I don't think the school was the best, but that's a different topic. But so The Walking Dead. So I guess I kind of went right into it, but I did want to talk about a little bit of news. It's not a whole lot. It's just like, we're probably getting a Deadpool trailer here in a few weeks for the Super Bowl. So it's going to be Chiefs 49ers, which should be a good game. I know it's the Super Bowl no one really wanted, but I think it's the two of the better teams. Like probably Ravens 49ers would have been the 2 best teams, but the Chiefs won, and the Chiefs will probably win the whole thing because once they get to this point, they lock in, and Pat Mahomes is ridiculous. So we'll see. But we're probably gonna get a Deadpool 3 trailer during that game, so I'm amped for that. David, I'm with you, man. Again, zombies are some of my favorite. Like just the idea of it is one of my favorite things. Again, like Call of Duty Zombies is probably my favorite video game to play. It's Call of Duty, but and there's multiple games with zombies, but that's my favorite game mode in existence. If you guys have checked out on GCube, that's me and my buddies try to play as much as possible. I haven't been able to stream in a while. Might try to on Wednesday, but we'll see. But then The Walking Dead, it's my favorite show of all time. Like no doubt about it. I guess what else with news was, we're gonna have Invincible. I think they said it comes back in April, like April 12th. I could be wrong with the date. I'm pretty sure it was April, but that's really it. So we're gonna be able to talk about all like Walking Dead for a while, probably until that. So yeah, man, I feel ya. I mean, the Lions, they blew it. They blew it hard, but I mean, I think the better team won. I think it showed with coaching, it showed just with playmaking, defense, offense. Like the 49ers kicked their ass, even though the Lions had that game in the bag for like the mass majority. For like well over half the game, it looked like this game was over. That's why you can't count any team out ever, especially in playoffs. So, the Thriller music video, Carrie, hell yeah, hell yeah. That shit's awesome. I love that. Yeah, it's one of my favorite music videos of all time. It's so much fun to watch. It's like a little mini movie, like a short film. It's awesome. And it's a great song. Great song. So we have a little bit of sunlight left. So if it starts to get a little bit darker, I guess I still have this light on, so we should be all right. I was gonna make the lighting better. Mark, did I once say better? Did I say it's the best show of all time? I don't think I did. I said The Walking Dead is my favorite show of all time. It just is. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are 2 of my other favorite shows of all time, and I think those are the best shows of all time. But The Walking Dead, I think it's just a very good show, and it's still one of the best in my opinion. Oh, the Telltales. Wow, the Telltale games, huh? Shit, where is this cat? Oh, she's chilling in here. But yeah, the Telltale games I think are awesome. Especially the first two. I'm like, that's some of the best like storytelling in a video game I've ever seen. And it's just like it's The Walking Dead. It kicks ass. All right, so let's start with the pilot. So it came out in 2010. You have Frank Darabont as the showrunner for the first two seasons. And I think it like the feel of the show as a whole, the first two seasons is drastically different than the rest of the show. There's something more gritty about it. I mean, obviously, it keeps a lot of that same like those same elements and like how the characters are throughout. Like they keep that. That's where I'm looking for continuity. I'll say they keep that throughout the entire show. But I don't know, there's something different. I mean, you have the guy who made The Shawshank Redemption, which is one of the best shows or movies of all time, making this show, and it's like it felt special in the early days. Like it felt like you were watching one of like this is gonna be the show. It was like this and Game of Thrones were the shows for like probably about Game of Thrones until like their last two seasons, and then like The Walking Dead up until the Negan entrance. I'd say this was like the peak show there was out there. Same with Breaking Bad. But I'm gonna let this kitty cat out. So hold on. Come on, Lucy, go ahead. All right. Let's see. What'd you say? I heard a crazy rumor. Interesting. That's a fun rumor. What I have heard is that apparently it's like Deadpool trying to like change the continuity with like within the MCU at least, where it's like he's gonna destroy some key moments. That's all gonna become one connected timeline of some sort again, but still multiversal with like all these different characters. No, yes, I agree, David. Up until season 9, I believe, is when they were using like, whoa, my bad. Basically, up until season 9, they were filming it all on film, right? And that's where it still had that graininess up until season 9, until they went to digital, right? But I agree. I still think with the first two seasons, one, it still looks gorgeous, but it has that film grain where like I think you kind of lose that touch ultimately throughout the whole show. Here, let me turn this down a little bit more. Lightning McQueen, Mark. Yeah, that'd be fun. I don't know. Mickey Mouse could be in it. I think it could be a fun little joke to have Mickey Mouse show up. We'll see. I mean, Deadpool's probably gonna be like. Again, I think the trailer itself is gonna have a moment where it's like, all right, we're with Disney now, okay. But you know what? Fuck you, Disney. But it'll be bleeped out for a trailer purpose, right? But I think it'd be fun. So I don't know. I think there's gonna be some like breaking the fourth wall elements within the trailer. So I'm excited for Deadpool 3, no doubt. Made my own little Baja Blast like makeshift from the fountain drink, so it turned out all right. Tastes like Baja. So you just take some, like Sprite or some lemon lime soda, some Powerade, and Mountain Dew, and that's what you get. Oh, Mark, that's a beautiful scene I can see in my head. Just Lightning McQueen rolling up and gets Deadpool in the car. Ka-chow. Yeah, that'd be sick. All right. So Walking Dead. So ultimately, the first season was only 6 episodes, which is kind of crazy looking back. Is like the last 2 seasons are 22 episodes, so it's like a drastic difference. Most of the entire show, though, is usually a 16 episode run, which I think is a perfect length for a season. Where it's like, but sometimes a season, like I think the best range for a show is like 10 to 16 episodes for a season, where it's like, and you should be able to be like, oh, I want. Give you the leeway not to be forced to do 16 seasons or episodes, but like no less than 10 is good. Like, but I don't think the Walking Dead never did that, but I just think they could have cut out some episodes, have a little bit less like filler stuff, but this is later on. Like first two seasons, like season 1 is great because it's very short, but it's 6 episodes. It's like, damn, I wanted more. But then season 2 is 12 episodes, I believe. And then you feel a little bit, it feels it can get a little slow at times, especially in the first half when they're looking for Sophia. I think like the beginning episode of season 2 and like the mid-season finale to season 2 are some of the best Walking Dead content you can get. But then the entire second half of season 2 is awesome. But I feel like there's a little bit of there's a rough area there for a bit within season 2. And that's why a lot of people don't like the season 2 as much, but I still think it's that classic Walking Dead. You still have like all the OG characters together, and it's just like you're on the farm. It's classic. Is it 24? It might be. I think season 10 was 22. But I don't know. That's a good question. It's 22 or 24 episodes, though. You could be right. Season 11 is awesome. We'll get there eventually. But I think I'm going to plan on doing like 2 seasons at a time. And probably merge 9, 10, and 11 in one video. But we'll see. Okay, it's kind of depending on time. So it's like, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. So five videos. So we might be able to do that in time before the ones who live. So maybe I might have to do like I might have to change it up a little bit because I want there to be enough time to talk about all the seasons before the ones who live, because I think that's gonna be something that we talk about. I talk about each episode weekly on here, so but we'll see. But anyway, quick question for y'all. Based on the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead, 1, who's your favorite character? 2, what's your favorite episode? All right. So for me, I have a couple answers here. Well, no matter what, Rick Grimes, by far my favorite character in fiction. Love him in the early days. He's still that officer friendly. He's still the good guy trying to do the right things. In season 2, you start to see like he can't always be that. And the guy who probably would last in this world, he has to kill his best friend. And he has to let that demon out of him to survive. And he has to understand that. And that's what his brother, Shane, had to let Rick know. And that's why he dies, because Rick's able to finally get to that point. Yeah. Oh, dude, Mark, that's sick. Your kid's playing Majora's Mask. That's a great game. But yeah, Rick Grimes and Shane Walsh are 2 of my favorite characters. I wish we got more of Shane, but his death, it outlived the comics, which is great because John Perthall, he's just a killer actor, and he plays that role perfectly. He's the main foil to Rick Grimes becoming who he's supposed to be. He's also a foil in like his disconnect with his wife, him going crazy there for a bit, and then him coming back to like be like, all right, I can be the man who's just a farmer. But then he has to come back again and let out that inner Shane. It's great. But we'll get to that point with seasons 3 and 4. But yeah, Shane Walsh and Rick Grimes are definitely my favorite characters from the first 2 seasons. Love Glenn, though. I don't love Herschel until season 3 and 4. But I do like Herschel in season 2. He's just not my favorite. Daryl's great, but I don't really start to really like Daryl until probably the second half of season 3. But I still always like Daryl. But yeah, no. Sophia in the Barn episode, I do think that's one of the best episodes of the first 2 seasons. Season 1, I don't think it has like a top tier episode besides maybe the pilot. But I think in terms of like a season as a whole, I think it's a great, well-told story for one season. To get people to know get introduced to this world, get to know these characters, and see how harsh it is. Season 1's great for that. But I think the pilot episode is one of the only ones that's probably going to be in like my top 15 episodes of all time. Maybe even top 10. But again, season 1's great. Season 1's awesome. But with season 2, though, you have some of my favorite episodes easily. You have Pretty Much Dead Already, which is the barn episode. You have 18 Miles Out, where they have to take the kid 18 miles out, and that's where Rick and Shane finally like confront each other. But then like by the end, you're like, oh, I think they're gonna be cool now. And then Judge, Jury, Executioner, where you get the loss of Dale, who's a great early on character. He's like that moral compass for the group, what Herschel becomes. But he only left because Frank Darabont was getting kicked off as showrunner. So he's like, fuck this, I'm out. But he still has one of the best deaths where Carl blames himself for a long time. Okay, Mark, I'm with you. I think the first few seasons of Fear the Walking Dead was good, but I'm probably not going to talk about that show because I've never finished it. I just watched scenes in recap videos just so I keep up to date. And like just specifically about the Morgan stuff, because apparently Morgan and Dwight come in later on. That's the stuff that I try to keep up to date on. But yeah, Glenn's awesome, David. I agree. Let's see. What do you say about... Oh, yeah. No, that's great. That's great, though, Mark. Like, it's great to play those old N64 games. I agree. Yeah, Shane, though. Oh, Mark. Oh, buddy. This is my show. I mean, like, the episodes that I really love, I can usually remember the episode titles, no doubt. But there's maybe some in between that I'm just like, I don't remember all the titles. You know, I'm not like that crazy about it. I mean, I'm pretty crazy about this show. Don't get me wrong, but the ones that truly stand out, I'll always remember the title names. But yeah, but Carrie, I think John Bernthal just kills it though as Shane. Kills it. One of the best movie or TV show villains ever, because it's like it's your main character's best friend who's great. But he's a very conflicted person because it's like, oh, my best friend died. There's nothing I can do about it. And now he's with his wife, his best friend's wife. And then now his best friend's alive and he's happy about it. But he's like, shit, what is that going to do with me? You know, that makes him go kind of nuts. That's what this world would do to you. You know, it's like everyone's dying around you. The world's going to shit. But yeah. Oh, David, who was the worst character in the first 2 seasons? Yeah, Beth sucked. I didn't start to like Beth until season 3. And I never really loved Beth until like it was just her and Daryl for a bit. Within, I think that was season 5. No, second half of season 4 is when it was just her and Daryl. No, yeah, I agree, Carrie. Bernthal is an excellent actor. I love him as the Punisher, which I can't wait for him to be back in the Daredevil Born Again. He's great in the Wolf of Wall Street. He's just a good actor. He's great. And I need to watch that show. I don't remember what it's called, but it's with the guy from Shameless. It's like a cooking show or something. I can't remember what it's called, but I need to watch that. I know him and freaking what's his name? Saul Goodman, his Bob Odenkirk. Apparently he's in there too. So I need to watch that show. I love all those actors. Ooh, so that's what you're hearing, Mark, that Gosling wants the Ghost Rider role. I think Gosling could do a good Johnny. But yeah, I think Norman would be perfect for Johnny. I agree. But Norman's plate might be a little full with The Walking Dead. Apparently they're doing a Death Stranding movie, so I just don't see him having enough time to do MCU shit. But who knows? I mean, Ghost Rider is just like you do a movie. You may eventually do Midnight Suns, and then maybe you're in the Avengers. So you only really have to take a lot of time out of your schedule for your own movie, because I mean you can mostly do a lot of CGI and just voice recording for Ghost Rider, I would say. So I don't know. No, but Norman Reedus is great. I just don't think he really becomes like one of the best characters of this show until like halfway through season 3, where he's starting to become Rick's right-hand man, because Shane was always that. I always loved that dynamic when watching season 2, though, because it's like that's starting a little bit where like Norman or Daryl, he loves following Rick, like he trusts Rick, even though this is the guy that left his brother for dead on a roof. He's still like, I trust this dude's judgment. And so like Shane's getting a little jealous of Daryl a little bit, because like he's even like, just take your new buddy with you on whatever. He's like, no, I'm taking you to take Randall 18 miles out, basically, you know. So that's fun. So it shows that like Shane was about to be on the outs, and Daryl's coming in to replace Shane as his best friend, his brother. It's great. Well, he's in season 4, and then the premiere of season 5. But yes, you're right. Yeah, he is. He's in one episode of like where in season 4 where Rick leaves Carol because Carol kills a couple people within their camp in the prison, and then he got captured by the cannibals in season 5, and that's where you see him again. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Still, it's the guy from Gotham. It's cool. Who plays the Penguin? Yeah. I remember when I was watching the show live, I'm like, oh shit, this is the dude from Gotham. He's in The Walking Dead. Cool. That's what's cool with The Walking Dead. You eventually get some like somewhat bigger name people to show up occasionally. Like no one huge. It's not like Game of Thrones where like you'll have like Aaron Rodgers like doing a quick cameo or some shit, you know. But he had some good like familiar faces eventually down the road in The Walking Dead, so that's cool. One of my favorite things about the show is like you don't even have that many of the original characters like towards the end, but like throughout the entire run, you can get introduced to a character in like season 9. They can become a fan favorite. I know some of my favorite characters don't get introduced until halfway through season 4, even, which is Rosita, Eugene, and Abraham. Those are 3 of my favorite characters in the entire show, but you don't get them for like 3.5 seasons, which is crazy. But yeah, I guess with this, did you guys enjoy season 1 or 2 more? Because I like 2 more overall. I think season 1 is more like a long movie type of situation where it's like it's very well told and the storytelling's great. There's like no filler. 2 has that, but I think like the highs of 2 are way higher than the highs of 1. Because I think the finale is nuts in season 2, where it's like, and the one before, where Shane's like plotting to kill Rick, but Rick has to kill him, and then Carl has to put him down as a zombie. And then, of course, the farm gets overrun, and then like they have to go, and then like of course the Rick-tatorship starts, where he's like, "I killed my best friend for you people, for Christ's sake," and it's like, you're all staying. It's not a democracy anymore. Like either you go, there's the door, see how far you can get, or you're coming with me and you're going to live. But my judgment will not be questioned. That's one of the most raw scenes in the entire show. And I'm like, this is where I'm like, oh, Rick is that guy. He's him. And it's just great. And then we get to season 3, which we'll talk about next week. But you just see how Rick's like, he's the guy. He's the guy who's going to like clear out an entire prison just to keep his pregnant wife safe, who may or may not be carrying his child. It could be Shane's kid, which we find out later on that it is, or at least that's what Rick believes, but he still loves his daughter, because that is his daughter. Even if it's not blood, like he loves her. But anyway, but I do love when they're in the CDC. I think that's what's great about season 1. I think the Dr. Jenner stuff is really cool. Like getting an idea of like how this thing started or like what started it. It's a virus. To find out at the end of season 2 what Dr. Jenner told Rick Grimes, like that they're all infected, but he's still gonna let them leave the place. And then when Rick says, "I'm grateful," and then Dr. Jenner just goes, "The day will come when you won't be." And that's the episode title of when Negan appears, and we'll get to that one day. But yeah, I love that. I love that. That's the episode title when Negan is taking the bat to people. It's like that's the day. That's the day that you won't be grateful that you didn't just sit here and die with me, because your life is going to become hell. Yeah. No, but you're right, Mark. There's not. So I mean, he could just believe that it's his kid, but in his heart, he knows it's Shane's kid. You know, but it's okay. It's okay. He has a piece of his brother and his wife with him at all times within the apocalypse. And he loved both of them. He just had to kill him. He had to kill Shane. He just had to, because it was Shane or him. That's just how it was. It's just balance. You can't have these 2 absolute alpha dogs in this world. Like, you need followers and there's leaders. They both were leaders. They both liked to call the shots, and that's when heads started to butt too much. But to be fair, one was trying to assassinate the other, where Rick just had to protect himself. And he was plotting, like Shane was always plotting just to get with his old girl. That's it. Especially since he found out that she's pregnant with his child. Crazy. I will say probably my least favorite character. I think David asked who my favorite. My least favorite. Damn, I keep knocking this over. Sorry, my phone was in charge, so I wanted to put on the charger, but I keep fucking knocking it over. So that's on me, guys. We should be all right. We'll give it a little more leeway with the charger. All right. Anyway, my least favorite character. Yeah, I think Beth kind of sucks. I don't like the whole arc of her trying to kill herself and whatnot. And then it builds off of Andrea becoming a not likable character. Like, yes, David, you're right. Sheep and shepherd. There's always the sheep and there's always a shepherd in this world. You're absolutely right. Which one are you? But yeah. But again, Beth, I don't think was a great character. But Carl, I did not like Carl at all until season 3. Season 3 is like probably my favorite version of Carl. Like 3, like I love that he still like looks like a little kid still, but he becomes more of a badass. Season 4, but yeah, seasons 1 and 2, like 2, he's the reason Dale dies, and it sucks. I'm like, dude, fuck you, kid. And then I don't know. Who knows if they never found the farm, if Shane would die either. Now that they found a good, bah, you're funny, David. That's good. But who knows if Carl never got shot? Who knows if they even find Herschel's farm, which would be nuts. Like how different would the world be, or would the show be? Would Shane still be alive? Would Rick be alive? Maggie and Glenn never would have gone together? Would they ever have met Negan later? It's interesting, but I mean that's just what had to happen. You know, it's just what had to happen. But yeah, I loved Maggie in season 2. Maggie's one of my favorite characters, no matter what. I don't really truly start to love her until season 7. I always liked her as a character. Don't get me wrong. I think once Glenn's gone, I think she really starts to become her own character, and it's not just the Glenn and Maggie dynamic. But I do love that within season 4 when they're all split up and them trying to find each other. I love that. But we'll get that. We'll get to that point. I don't want to jump ahead too much within these videos because I want to stay focused on the seasons I'm going over. Because right now we're in the days and weeks gone by territory. Where next up we're going to talk about the prison, and then we're going to talk about separation plus cannibalism. And then we're going to talk the feral times, and then we're going to talk the Alexandria times, which are the early Alexandria times are awesome. Oh, David, I agree. When Shane goes with Otis to the high school to get medical supplies to save Carl, it's like he knows what this world is now. It's like it's die or do the most terrible things to keep those you love alive. And like he even knew, he's like, Otis was not a bad guy, but he did shoot Carl, even though it was an accident. He did shoot Carl, and he was a big boy. Shane knew that if he could just shoot him once in the foot, he's down and he's able to get away. And Shane even like he messed up his knee or he messed up his ankle or something. He's like, I'm only getting out of this to save Carl's life, who would not be in a situation if it wasn't for Otis. I have to kill you to save Carl, who he sees like a son like to him too. So I agree, David. I love that whole scene. It's like when you're starting to see the craziness of Shane, because that episode starts with like you seeing that Shane shaved his head. And I was never really thinking about this. Like my recent rewatch is when I've been able to pick up a lot more. It's just like he shaved his head like Otis, but he also didn't want to see like the hair rip out of him, right? Because Otis like grabbed his hair and like pulled some hairs out, but him shaving his head, it's like, oh, Otis was he had a shaved head too, so it's like, oh shit. And then even at Otis's funeral, he's wearing Otis's clothes. He wears his clothes to the dude's funeral, the dude he murdered. It's crazy. Yeah. Let's see. What did you say, Mark? I haven't seen. Is Falling Skies good? Yeah, I'm curious about that one. I didn't know there was an alien invasion type of show out. That was around the time of The Walking Dead. I would watch the hell out of that. I really like that stuff. Anything apocalyptic, I eat up, but zombies in particular is what I love. Love that. That's the only apocalypse I even really want to live in. Anything else, I'm like, oh shit, fuck that. If there was to be an apocalypse, that's the one. I've been training for it my whole life, watching The Walking Dead and playing COD Zombies for well over 15 years. So, um, but yeah. So what did I say? What everyone's favorite episode is? I think I asked. Yeah, I think I did. Ultimately, I think Better Angels is my favorite episode because I think it has the purest, best scene within these two seasons, where it's Rick killing Shane, and it's like even Shane's willing to drop his gun a little bit, but Rick's like, "You're out. You're done. I can't have you keep undermining me every which way when I'm the one that these people look to lead them. Not you, but you're my brother who's supposed to support me. But everything I say, you're undermining me. And even though you're my brother, you're gonna get me killed. You have tried to kill me multiple times now. And I thought we buried the hatchet when we took Randall out 18 miles and we fought. But I saved your ass. I saved your ass then. But he's like, fuck this. I'm done. I love you, but you're not gonna be around me anymore. Interesting. All right. Well, Mark, maybe I'll look into it for sure. If it's on anything, you let me know and I'll try to give it a watch. Yeah, I think that's my favorite episode when he kills Shane. But I also really love underrated episode where I think it's like the dawn of the Rick Grimes is Nebraska, where the whole episode is about like Herschel's gone. So Glenn and Rick go out to find him. He's at a bar drinking. And there's these two guys being like, "Oh, do you guys have a camp?" Blah blah blah. And they're with a bigger group. But Rick's like, "Yeah, no, I don't know you. I don't know you." And then these guys pull guns on him or about to, and Rick just like he's able to get both of them like that. Two people that he's like straight up murdered within the zombie apocalypse for the first time. But this is Rick becoming Rick, where it's like, I don't trust you, and you're about to kill me. So I'm gonna do what I have to do to keep my family and my people safe. So this is what this started the build towards Rick saying Shane might be right at times. He just goes about it a very poor way because Shane's a loudmouth. He has anger problems, but his mentality about this world isn't terrible. All right, but yeah, I'm intrigued to Fallen Skies if it's like an alien apocalypse show. Yeah, for sure. All right, so I'm trying to think of one question to ask y'all before I'm gonna call it quits on the first two seasons. But yeah, I'm in agreement with a lot of you that I like season two more than one. I think there's a lot better plot points, a lot more highlight episodes, a good amount of main character deaths. You get to know a lot of these characters more. Like Rick Grimes is where he's truly starting to become him. Daryl gets better, like shows that he's a bit of a softie with the whole Sophia, like looking for her every second of each day. He even gets shot for her. He gets an arrow through him for her, just to find out that she's dead. Sucks. Like Herschel had her in his barn. Crazy, right? Yeah, no, pretty much dead already. I do think it's one of the best episodes. That was a true mind bent. Like it just fucked a lot of people's brains. Just like whenever that aired for the first time, it's like, damn, they've been looking for her this whole time. It's just a complete waste. And that's what kind of sucks about the first half of season two. I think the premiere is great. The episode of Shane killing Otis is great. There's a lot of stuff in there, like where Maggie and Glenn get together, like they fuck. You find out Lori's pregnant. But yeah, I think it's just a lot slower than the second half because I think 18 Miles Out has some great action in there, some great dialogue between Shane and Rick that I love. It's like it's I can keep them safe, Rick. I can. You can. You. But yeah, anytime I rewatch 18 Miles Out, I'm just like, God damn, this is a top tier episode. That might be my favorite episode of these 2 seasons. It's hard. It's between that, Better Angels, and the finale. So I don't know. The finale season 2 kicks ass. It's like the whole farm's overrun. They're able to all find each other at the end. And then like Rick gives his whole, like one of his best speeches. Any Rick Grimes speech like that is top notch. Where he's like, I'm done. Well, he's not done. It's like, listen, it's like if you don't like how I do things, just leave. But guess what? I'm gonna survive. So you make that decision, and then I will make your decisions. All right. But then I love how that ends. And then you get to zoom up, and then you see the prison. And that's what we're going to talk about next week, guys. We're going to talk about seasons 3 and 4, which are 2 of my favorite seasons of the entire show. After this last rewatch of season 3, I think it's down on my rankings a little bit. And I think when I'm done with all this, I'm going to rank every season. So whenever we get done with season 11, we're going to do a ranking. That might even just be a one. It might be I just talk about season 11 in one video. And then rank all of them. And so I'm excited for that. But as of right now, season 1 is my least favorite season, even though it's an awesome season. How long does it stay down there? We will see. We will see. It might be a little while because I think we're on a pretty killer stretch. I think 3's elite, 4's elite, 5 is unreal, 6 is masterful, then 7 and 8. We'll see. We'll see. Little hint, nudge, and where season 1's gonna end up so far. But yeah, guys, I think that's gonna do it. I hate that Laura just got here. It's good to have you here. Before I head out, Laura, say hey to everyone, and let me know what your favorite season of The Walking Dead is if you watched the show, and who your favorite character is. But yeah, guys, but I think that's gonna do it. This was a lot of fun. Of course, I can talk The Walking Dead any day of the week. It's my favorite piece of media there is. I love the comics also. And again, Rick Grimes, my favorite character in all of fiction. I can't wait to have him back in 1 month. All right, guys. I hope you have an awesome Monday. If I can, I'm going to try to stream on Wednesday for G Cubed and play some Call of Duty Zombies with my buddies. But if not, I'll see y'all next week to talk seasons 3 and 4 of The Walking Dead, where I think this show becomes a completely different thing since Frank Darabont will be gone. We have a new showrunner. I believe it's Scott Gimple. And yeah, I guess David, you didn't make me think of something that I did want to touch base a little bit on. I didn't really talk much about Merle. I thought he's gonna, as we all know, he comes back in season 3 and he's awesome. He's even in season 2 for an episode. But he's great in season 3, so I can't wait to talk a lot more about him. He's Daryl's brother that he leaves on the roof. I think besides episode 1 of season 1, I think Guts, which is I think the second episode, is probably the best episode of that season. Shit, I don't know because I thought, again, when they come back to the camp and everyone's starting to they get overran. Fuck. Season 1's great, but I think season 2 is better. All right, guys, before I go on that rant, like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below about your favorite characters, your favorite seasons of The Walking Dead, and some of your favorite episodes, because then I would like to talk about those ones specifically a bit more in the near future. All right, guys, I'll catch y'all very soon. Bye-bye.